So for those new to Humanly, really from a high level, what we're focused on doing is empowering hiring teams to be better at the candidate conversations that should remain human driven while automating the ones that shouldn't, right? Kind of that first step in this process was our chat-based automation tool that screens and schedules job candidates at scale. And really, we sat down and asked ourselves, with this time savings and automation being built in, even with all that being done, recruiting is human driven. It always will be human driven. That will never change. And there's many parts of the hiring process that will never be automated for good reason, like the interview. And because of that, what can we do and how can we impact recruiters and how they are interviewing to make them more effective, to make them more equitable in those interviews they're having? And that's what Humanly Voice was derived out of. Really, what we've done is we have a tool that is able to integrate directly with Zoom, with Microsoft Teams, with Google Hangouts. The idea is our attendee, all you do is invite voice at humanly.io. It's able to sit in on your interviews. It's able to transcribe what's happening in interview and then provide you insight and analytics around what's actually going on, right? Now, while there are tools out there that have been very focused on measuring and judging the candidate side of the interview, like whether they're a good candidate, there have been very few tools out there that have focused on interview efficacy. And the reality is while, recruiters are, honing their craft, Sean was talking about, done it 10 plus years, most of the interviewing is not even being done at the recruiting level. It's happening at the hiring manager level. And so I'd love to meet the recruiters out there that have enough time in the day to go out and actually sit down and do interview listening with their hiring team members, whether they're in sales or outside of the recruiting team themselves. No one has enough time in the day to do that. So that's really where we're focused. We sit in on these interviews, we transcribe what's happening, and we provide insights and analytics around what's going on within those interviews. When it comes to the voice beta program, the idea is, and Vanessa is going to get into specific details. The idea is some of these questions have come up, right? And those that have done interviews, those that are professional recruiters, you might have asked yourselves these questions, right? I'm clearly talking over 150 words per minute right now, which is not good for English as a second language candidates. That negatively impacts them. It negatively impacts everyone. So what can I do to bring awareness? I think, my Humanly Voice said I talk over 200 words per minute, which is very bad. And I need to work on that, right? Am I bringing up company values during my interviews, right? And how does that impact candidate sentiment in what we're discussing there? Do I use biased or gendered words? How is that impacting candidates, right? Again, I tend to jump the gun here. I talk fast and I interrupt candidates, which is, again, very negative. But the idea is, what can I do to first be aware that this is happening so that I can improve on that? And how is it impacting different candidates differently? These are just some of the questions. Again, the first step in this equation is, how do we bring insight and awareness to some of these stats, some of what is actually happening in interviews so that we can improve on that, whether that's running trainings or, doing at an aggregate level from leadership on down for everyone throughout your organization that are doing interviews.